Hi, and welcome back to the Mortgage Broker Broadcast. My guest this week is Steve Bartholomew from St. Barts Finance, from Introvise, and also owns several of Yorkshire building sites as well. The reason why I wanted to get Steve onto the podcast, yes, I want to hear about his journey from an estate agency, commercial financing, to then mortgage broking and business owner. But the main reason I wanted to get Steve onto the podcast was to talk about Introvise, what Introvise is, why it created it, how the development's gone so far, who is it benefiting, who is it aimed at, and yeah, who better to talk about Introvise and how it helps with mortgage brokers, how it helps with introducers is Steve. So let's get Steve onto the podcast. So welcome to the podcast, Steve. How are you?
Yes, very good. Thank you. Very good.
Good. Thanks for agreeing to be on the podcast finally. So with gritted teeth and hands behind your back, we've got you on finally onto a video recording of Steve.
I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. What can
I say? No, I don't know. The thing, Steve, we obviously want to know about you and your background, stuff like that. But the reason why I wanted to get you into the podcast is to talk about the great tech that you've got out there that helps mortgage brokers, and the mortgage brokers will work with introducers specifically, but then other benefits along with that as well. But yeah, I know it was sort of. I'm just keen to get out into the marketplace. I got an understanding of it a few weeks ago. Obviously, you did the demonstration to me, and then I just thought, well, why not that product, which benefits mortgage brokers massively? We need to get out into the marketplace a little bit more and get your face out there, Steve. That's what we need to do.
No problem at all. That's absolutely fine.
Fine. So first of all, for those people that don't know who you are, do you want to do a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah, of course, no problem at all. I'm Steve Bartholomew. I own a company called St. Barts Finance, which is based on the South Coast, basically a mortgage and investment practice. We have 13 advisors, about 7 administration staff, and also as part of that, we also own Yorkshire Building Society, a couple of branches of theirs down on the South Coast as well, which we run in coordination with St. Barts. My background, just to give you a bit of a heads up, I started off in a estate agency for about 3.5 years, then went into consumer finance, and then went into mortgage advice probably around about 19 years ago now. I set up St. Barts Finance about 13 years ago from scratch with not one client, and it's kind of grown and developed from there. And basically, we've kind of leveraged introducers and network and people that we've met over the years to obviously grow the lead supply coming into the business, and that's enabled us to really push and grow the business to where we've got it today, basically. That's basically, with regards to that's where I've got to at the moment.
Excellent. And we're going to throw in there a little bit about your car. You've not put anything about personal there, Steve. So we're going to get you are very much a petrol head. Is that fair to say?
I am a little bit of a petrol head, to say the least. Yes, I have a couple of cars, to say, that I enjoy on a regular basis.
Enjoy is the right term? Is that right? Is it enjoy, or sort of enjoy?
Yeah, I'd say enjoy. Yeah, we'll get a sunny day and we'll take one out, and then the other days we'll just drive around in something electric for a bit. So, but a nice fast electric one.
So you've got 4 in both camps in there, Steve. You've got one in the future and the electric car, full electric car that you've got, and then obviously your gas guzzling a little bit more in terms of
the good old V8.
Yeah. You're just playing it safe, aren't you? You've got one foot in both camps. You
get the tax benefits of the electric car and putting it through the business because it's so tax efficient. It's silly not to do it. But I absolutely love the noise that a V8 makes, and so I couldn't be without a V8 or something nice and noisy to go alongside the electric one.
Who doesn't like the sound of a V8? Who doesn't like the sound of that? I know. I think So we have come to talk. We're not on the podcast to talk about cars and your petrol addiction and your V8 and your electric car. We're here to talk, obviously, about one particular piece of tech that you've created, and we're going to get into detail about that. When I sort of just listening to you there, because really we've had a bit of a chat in the past. We're both part of Open Network, so both firms that we work for or have are both part of Open Network. So obviously there was mutual interest from that point of view. But I think that what was interesting to hear, because I didn't know about that, was the estate agency background kind of thing. He tends to, a few people that sort of tend to go into estate agency, build those relationships up, and then move into the financial services world away from the agency. So
it gives you a very good insight into kind of how the industry works, to be quite honest. So, I mean, I literally used to refer mortgage leads to mortgage brokers being an estate agent. But the financial services side of it is something I always wanted to get into. But I literally had to bide my time and make sure that I did it the right way that I wanted to do it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's like we deal with a lot of introducers. So it's like when we were building the software that we're going to talk about today, actually having done physically the job that I'm trying to design the software for introducers, i.e. estate agents, it's given me a really good background of knowing exactly what they need, what they might want, what that looks like, and how to actually put it together for them to make sure they're getting everything they want and the information they need to get back when they're passing business to people.
Right. Excellent. I think that, well, it's clear to see you've got fingers in a few pies with your with St. Bart's going on, and then Yorkshire Building Society, a few franchises there. You've got branches as well of the actual, you've obviously got the branch as well of St. Bart's. I think there's 3 branches down on the south coast down there.
Yeah, we've got 3 branches on the south coast, and we've got some self-employed advisors scattered elsewhere and along the south coast as well. So we're gradually building the network. We're looking to expand further at the moment as well. Literally through the introducers and the software that we're using, we've got a huge amount of leads coming in, and we're basically looking to build and develop and take advisors on. I'm just very careful how we do it. I don't like to take advisors on unless we've actually got enough leads to supply to people. And so until we've actually got enough lead flow for more people, we gradually take people on a gradual basis to make sure we can support them properly, basically.
Right. Well, doing it the right way rather than, like you say, making sure you're building on solid foundations rather than throwing as much as you can at it, Steve, and seeing what sticks, kind of thing. So
exactly.
And you built a successful. Go on, sorry.
I was going to say I wouldn't want to be chucked in it any other way, to be quite honest. And I always kind of like go, what would I want? And that's how I treat everybody else. Basically, that's always been the way. And
you built that over, obviously, on those foundations over a number of years, and built a successful business. So fair play to you from that point of view. It's obviously built on, like I say, the right foundations, and the business is just going in one direction and growing. So well done. Even though you've got a few years on me yet, Steve, in terms of not age, but actually years in the industry. So I think 5 years. My firm's been trading sort of current for 5 years in July. So you've got a few years on that on me, but I've got a few years on the on the actual age of years kind of thing. So I'll give you that. Definitely. Fine, Steve. So we haven't got to talk about cars. We've not got to talk about Yorkshire Building Society and various other things. We've got you onto the podcast to talk about Introvise. That's right, isn't it? That's the right word I'm using. Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, do you want to explain how Introvise came about?
Yeah, of course, no problems. So basically, we were dealing with a number of estate agents and other introducers, accountants, solicitors, getting leads from our website. The leads were just coming from everywhere. And the normal scenario, I think, with most businesses is everyone's using Excel spreadsheets pretty much to actually kind of track any leads that are coming through, maybe give a little bit of reporting to introducers. Some people might share the spreadsheet with introducers, and basically just trying to kind of keep an eye on what's actually coming through and how and when. But after a while, you kind of get to a point of going, well, it's not necessarily that efficient. It doesn't really calculate everything for you. And we basically looked at it and went, well, the only way we can do something is we want to try and leverage and make that whole experience and dealing with our estate agents, introducers better. Now, luckily for me, my best mate is a software engineer and software developer. And so basically I sat down with him over a couple of beers, to be quite honest, and went, right, I've got this thing that I'd like to try and do.
That's how it all starts. This is how it all starts, Steve.
Exactly. I thought I'd be honest. And we sat down together and kind of just tried to go, right, what do you think could be a solution to this? What might it look like, etc. And we basically went, you know what, we'll agree something between ourselves, small little financial thing between us, and we'll put something together and build it. The whole build itself was literally for St. Bart's Finance. It was never for anybody else at all. And basically what we did is we basically built an introducer portal. So all of the introducers can log into our portal and they have all their own access. So the estate agency owner has their own view. The individual agents have a different view, so they only see their own leads and their own commissions. So, and then the business obviously sees all of it. We then have an internal portal where the leads come straight through to, and everything we update on the internal portal automatically updates the external portal. And basically, as you work through the leads, it actually sends email notification updates across to make sure that all the introducers or agents are all completely up to date on everything that you're doing on the stages that you work, but without you having to constantly email them and do that work behind it. It just did it for you. We've also then, any business that comes across, it gives them a pipeline value. And this was a real key part to me, to be quite honest, because most of the times when you actually send leads across to a mortgage advisor looking from the other side, it's almost like putting leads into a black hole. You don't really know what's going on with them at all, what's happened, where it is, what I'm going to get paid.
So the value is a big thing, Steve. The value.
Exactly that. I'll be honest with you, I know from experience, the estate agency world is all about the money. It's that simple. They want to know exactly what money they're going to get paid. There's a lot of estates out there that are quite young. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds is a lot of money to them. And honestly, seeing that actual money and actual poundage value makes a huge difference. So we have basically, the system works. As soon as you work a lead, you can basically work commissions, you can do individual commissions for everybody. So it's completely tailorable to anybody. And you can have a payment for a lead or not. You can have a complete commission of either a percentage or a poundage amount. You could do £50 on offer. You could do any scenario that you wanted. And then basically, as you're updating and changing it and signing up that bit of business, you enter in the proc fee, the broker fee that you're charging. And effectively what it does, the moment you enter it in and say you've signed it up, it actually works out external pipeline values for everybody. And so technically it will give the actual estate agency owner their pipeline value of their split, and then give the individual agent their pipeline value of their split, completely separate, and no one can see each other's. So the estate agent can take literally 50%, and the actual agent wouldn't know they're taking 50%, or they can do any scenario that they wanted on that. And so whenever they log into our portal, they saw the commission, they saw their leads, because you can track everything. It tells them all the statuses, and they were getting email updates on everything. We also, at the same time, launched a mobile app that went with it. And so basically, my main thing is with your estate agency leads, the estate agents are all walking around everywhere and doing viewings and seeing people. They're not sat at their desk. They're out on the road a lot more. And so they basically download an app onto their phone, and it has everything. So you log into it. It's got the pipeline value as the first thing that comes up on screen and how many leads they've sent across to you. They can submit leads on it. They can see pipeline. They can see full tracking. They can see commission statements. It's all on the app, and it's also on the portal as well. So we were going around, and as they're doing viewings, they're asking clients questions about mortgages, and they're submitting the lead while they're on the actual at the property still, straight through to us. And then we found, because all the commissions and they were getting paid it, and they could see their pipeline values, we were then starting to get leads from people in the evenings when they're out in the pub with their friends, because their mate goes, "Oh yeah, I need a mortgage," and they've just submit them on the app for us in the pub. And we were getting those leads come through. And the more the leads you get, the more you convert, and the more business we actually wrote. And the moment we did this, and we launched this into St. Bart's, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was just going to make my life a lot easier. And what actually happened was basically, we launched it, and within literally 3 months, our business volume, our lead volume had gone up by about 250%. Literally, wow. It was unbelievable, just the impact it actually had. And then what was also happening is the estate agents that had our software, the app, etc., they do tend to bounce around estate agents a lot. And when they moved estate agency, they were going to the new estate and they go, "I've got this app. Have you got this?" And they go, "Oh, I haven't got that. What's that?" They looked at it and went, "Crikey, that's really good. Let's get on board." And the next thing I know, I've just picked up another estate agent as a whole new business to then start getting referrals through as well. And it just kept going and going and going. But it was also in the internal portal, the advisor side, it was actually giving me a profit and loss account on everybody, not just the businesses, but the actual estate agents themselves, or any introducers. And it doesn't have to be just agents. It can be anything you put on here. So we have it running Google campaigns, and it will track Google campaigns, and automatically the leads will come straight into the campaign. And so we can track profit and loss on individuals, and we were then giving them training if they needed it, or some help with mortgage advice. and all this kind of stuff to help them generate and build the business. But it allowed me to concentrate everything that I was doing and pick out certain parts of the introducers. So if you've got an estate agent that's passing you 5 leads and you weren't writing business, you have a chat with them and ask them what questions they were asking, and try and help them and support them doing it. Or if they were giving you nothing, we're finding it's because they needed some training, but I wouldn't have known really that they wouldn't have anything until I'd seen the data. Right. And so all of this went in place, and it just all started falling into place and just grew. And then because obviously we're part of Open Work, and I've got quite a few contacts in Open Work, and we go on the events, people were just literally kind of, I kept bumping into them, and they kept going, "Oh, can I have a look at your app?" And so I kept showing people the app, and the next thing I know, I kept going, "Oh, can we have that? Can we have that? Can we have that?" And so me and my business partner now basically had to set up a little business and start relicensing the software. So we really relicense our the whole lot, the actual lead portal for £25 a month per user.
Right.
It's unlimited advisors, unlimited introducers. There's no limits on any of it for £25 a month. And basically that's just built and grown. So we're in directly authorised firms, Open Work, SJP. It's in Mortgage Advice Bureau. It's actually even getting leads from the mortgage advisors referring investment pension leads to inside Mortgage Advice Bureau at the moment. Right. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but it's just grown and grown and grown basically off the back of it. And we've developed the software even further since, and it now literally runs my whole operation with St. Bart's Finance internally, all the systems. And we have the staff inside Yorkshire Building Society actually referring leads through from a tablet straight into our software Introvise and into St. Bart's Finance and tracking everything and running the commission. Right. But wow. It is literally it's a one press button, pay commissions at the end of the month, and it's done.
I think the thing is with it is the idea behind it is that it's not a tech person writing it from what they think somebody needs from a mortgage broker or an estate agent or an introducer in general needs. It's actually, yes, you've got that input, but then obviously it's got your input from something. You've seen something an issue within your business that needed fixing, shall we say. Yeah. You've created that, looking at like working with your partner to then go and find like somebody that you knew to go, right, this is what we need to fix. Yes, that's something we can do. And that's just going to go in the right direction because it's fixing things that you're dealing with every day. And as working with introducers, running your firm, and also with your advisors. So it's naturally going to grow and go in the right direction because as it adapts and things like that, it's just going to follow. And with your input on it, it's just going to benefit through the brokers out there rather than it's just getting more tech savvy or he's having both sides of the coin really of yes the tech stuff, but then also your input from it as well.
I think the hardest part actually when we were trying to build it is whenever you work with any developers, even though they're your best mates, they're basically they just like to make things complicated. I can't put it any other way really. And so what we're trying to do all the way through it is strip everything out. And so basically, we've tried to make it as simple as we can possibly make it. So the software looks really, really easy to use, and it's deliberate. So it doesn't look complicated. We haven't tried to chuck this and chuck that in. It's basically exactly what is required. And then we spent probably the last 7 years now literally just developing the software because we started off going, right, this is the commission structures that I work with at St. Bart's. And then you speak to other brokers and keep spinning up, and then everyone's got their own versions of commissions and how they like to do it. And so we rebuilt the commission structure about 4 or 5 times to get it to where it is today, which is why there's virtually an infinite amount of different commission structures you can do. The status is completely customizable to each individual. And we rebrand it as well. So basically anyone that takes a license can have it rebranded. So people log in with their logo on the software and all of that stuff as well.
So the app. So when somebody uses the app, they would see that the
app is just Introvise. To be honest with you, that one is literally it's just basically we've labelled it as My Leads. So basically, anyone downloads it just says My Leads as the app. But internally, if you go on the portal, that would have literally all the company logos over everything.
Right. Okay. Got it. So are you okay just quickly talking through a process of a
Yeah, of
lead
course.
and the journey? Is that all right? Sorry to put you on the
Yeah, of
spot,
course.
Steve, but yes. So
Don't
I'm in
worry.
the pub tonight, and I sort of see my mate who needs mortgage advice, and I know I refer my mortgage business as an estate agent to
Yeah.
yourself. I'm sat there going, right, my mate John needs a mortgage. There you go, Steve. There's a lead.
Yeah.
What's the sort of process from there with regards
So,
to
yeah.
client and
No,
introduce
it's
them?
fine. So that lead basically goes straight onto the portal because it's all one system. So you'll see it externally on the introducer portal, and you'll see it goes straight onto the internal portal. The software itself will email the introducer back and basically go, "Thank you. This lead's been assigned to this advisor.
Right, okay,
We'll
cool.
update you shortly." He sends an email to the advisor saying, "You've just got a new lead. Can you work it, please?" And in the email, it's got a link. They just have to click on the link, and it opens that actual lead on the portal. And then basically the advisor will go in and work it straight away within whatever timescales, depending if the business is open or what time of night it comes through, etc.
Right.
They'll make the phone call, they'll update the status of the lead, and the moment they touch that lead and save anything on it, it will send emails going, "We've done this, we've booked the appointment for Mr. and Mrs. Smith on this date and this time, we've signed it up," whatever it might be all the way through. The moment literally it gets signed up, obviously the commissions get entered, broker fee, proc fee, updates pipelines instantly. And then as soon as we've got paid it, we'll mark it as being paid, and then we'll confirm we're paying an introducer. And then we'll run the commission at the end of the month, and then they'll see that on the commission statement. And basically the software gives me a report going, right, these are the people you need to pay, this is the companies, this is the amounts, and we just do online banking and pay everybody.
Right.
And that's it. It's that straightforward. So we basically just work through the system basically as we are normally doing a mortgage for anybody with all the data on screen. And just by doing the normal job, everything else happens in the background. So
it's just, like you say, it's an incredible piece of, like, the thing with it is that you can see benefits from every single angle. So you can see it from the estate agency point of view, because yes, there's no more spreadsheets chasing up the broker, what's happening with this case, what's happening with that, doing a weekly progression call, having an administrator to do case progression on a Friday, ringing up the broker saying, right, you've got 10 clients with you right now, where are you at, kind of thing. So it cuts out that from that point of view. So it saves the estate agency time. And like you say, the motivation to see that my pipeline is worth X, and you've got a true figure rather than, well, what is that worth? What, like, I sent them that lead. Yeah, I know they've signed them up, but how much is that worth, kind of thing. So you're again relying on the broker to do updates from that. But then, so there's the benefit from the estate agency point of view. I get all that. The benefits from a broker point of view is that it's just going to save you time, because you're not going to be, you're just doing your job, updating the system, and then it tells everybody who needs to know where it's at, really. So to let this, so you've not got that call from an agent thinking, oh, I need to update my spreadsheet, send the spreadsheet through to them, or ring them up and tell them where it's at. That just happens.
Yeah, so basically we have two versions to our software. One is the lead only version, which is basically does everything that I've just said. And then what we did, because at the same time we had that version which we first built for the business, but we were still running in the background like a business tracking, i.e. pipeline of all of the business that my advisors were writing, so all the mortgages, insurance, all that kind of stuff. We like that. So we've always run the business, so we have pipeline values, and all of the advisors see exactly what pipelines everyone's got, and it's very competitive in my office. I manage it, but I'll be honest with you, I manage it with software. It all just literally it does it all for us. And basically, so we went from the lead only version, and we then incorporated basically our CRM system and our business tracking system all into one. And that's the new version of the software that we now run as a business, and it literally runs the whole company. And be honest, just updating anything on that updates all of the introducers. But I mean, the lead side of things and working out commission structures and profit and loss, etc. Even if you're not dealing with all of the estate agents all the time and bits and pieces, if you're still going, right, well, I'm paying out for Google campaigns or whatever leads you're getting, if you're paying for them or just want to see how they're performing, we can track anything that comes into the business from anywhere. We even have things like, refer a friend for existing advisors, so existing client referral. So my advisors can put on there, every lead that comes into the business, they say where it came from. So I can tell you exactly how many client referrals each of my advisors gets in, for instance. which is a fantastic tool to know that and how good they are actually like finding their own business. It then goes even further, and we change the status of a client. Once it's at the moment you change the status of a client to completed on a mortgage, for instance, it then puts it straight into a remortgage book. And then basically that remortgage book then emails the advisor 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 months before the mortgage is due.
Right. And so no excuse there to miss your remortgages.
No, and then we've even got a status for literally the remortgage status, so we then know which ones are converted and what the conversion rate is for the whole business.
Right.
So you've got a back book value of your company as such to prove to anybody, and you can go look at the data. It's all there. This is what we convert going forward. And then I'm now working on going, right, we're at that figure. How do we get it up a bit? And so we're developing the software constantly. We're talking about looking at marketing tools on the back of it as well, because all the data is in there, things like dates of birth for clients and when they took cases out. And so we're hopefully going to start building in some kind of marketing material in the back of it. So we'll email clients direct saying, happy birthday, or you've had your mortgage for this amount of time. I hope everything's going well. Oh, you took this mortgage out with us, so we noticed you didn't take protection at the time. We'd love to review this with you. And we can automate a lot of these messages, but we can then choose which ones we want to use and which ones we don't through businesses.
Right.
And so, but there's a lot of stuff still being worked on constantly in the background to improve where we are. But already at the moment, it's working brilliantly. So. And yeah, we're very lucky. I'll be lost without it, I
think. I think that's the problem. Now you've got it. Now you've obviously created it. You have created a bit of a monster for yourself, because obviously,
yeah, basically,
which is a good thing in a way, and that's always how it tends to be, Steve. I think the thing is that you start off with your business however many years ago, and then all of a sudden you're running an IT tech firm kind of thing going on, and Yorkshire building site and things like that. That's just how it tends to happen, isn't it? You start with one intention and then it goes off in a different direction and then another direction kind of thing. So it is a good thing.
I still have trouble working out how I actually managed to get where I am, if that makes sense. I've got so much stuff going on.
Well, it's all about looking forward. It's not about looking what you've achieved and look. Obviously, I'm all for looking back and the time for reflection and stuff like that. But in your day to day, it's just about what you're doing now and what does the next month look like, next 3 months, and those sorts of things. So obviously you're sort of saying about how it's adapting and stuff like that. With the sort of future of it, then, Steve, what sort of like the future look like for this as a platform?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, at the moment for the first probably like 4 or 5 years, we've never even advertised it at all. This is probably the only just coming on
until now, Steve. Until now,
one of the first times we've actually gone out and gone, right, hang on, who's interested? Because I'll be honest with you, apart from like me meeting people and word of mouth, that's the only people we've ever licensed it to. So we haven't even really gone, look what we've got. But we've kind of got to the point going, well, actually, you know what, we should really do something with this. And I'm now looking to try and get behind it to try and push it a bit. So we've now got a couple of more people on board. We're looking to try and do and just try and reach out to mortgage brokers and just have a chat with them and just see what they think and whether they like it and try and take it from there, really. Probably doing a few more videos, I think, by the sounds of it.
We will get you doing them yet, Steve. We will get you doing them. I know we talked a little bit before the recording about sort of the videos and stuff like that. So, but I think that, like you said, it tends to be that way, that it's word of mouth. And yes, this is not an advertisement for your system. It was good to get you on the podcast and understand like different aspects. And I'm all for tech and how to make lives easier for mortgage brokers, for introduced estate agents and that sort of thing. So this is not a PR stunt for your business, but it's good to know it's interested. People are genuinely interested about the tech of the mortgage world and how it's going to develop and what the future looks like, because it's just about making lives easier for the broker's point of view, but then also as well improving the service from a client's point of view, from an introducer point of view. That's all it's about, because there is it's like you've been in the industry for a long time, and it's just the long drawn out process of buying a house, selling a house, getting a mortgage in the first place. Anything you can do to speed up the process a little bit is all big things. And I think the things what you're looking to trying to do behind the scenes with where it's at is then just helping brokers to to have more time to do things that they should be focusing on, rather than the millions of spreadsheets that you talks about and various other things around that we've all been there.
I do love a good spreadsheet, but I don't actually have it anymore.
Yeah, no plans on promoting the spreadsheet on this podcast, Steve. It's all no, definitely not. Definitely not. But that's the thing, it's just about saving time for mortgage brokers. That's what we're doing. So they can, like we talked about before, there is a certain amount of time you've got to do things in the day and in your week, and things get put off doing it because you might think, oh, this is a bit too complicated, or I don't know where to start with that. So things like social media, things like marketing from a broker's point of view, if this system behind the scenes that they're paying for, that's like in terms of cost, but in terms of working smarter with their hours, and their hourly rate is more cost effective because they've got a system that does a lot of things for them, they're more likely to do the marketing, the social media stuff and things like that will help then generate that income to then maintain the system and get more clients. But I think that the big thing, like you said, is that you've won Introduce on the back of the fact that you're working with this system and showing the introducers how much easier their life can be with working with you, what you've created.
I'll be honest with you, I've always been very kind of driven to try and be a little bit different to everybody else, which is why my St. Bart's is literally, we're right on the high street. We've got high street shops that people can just walk into and everything else. So we've always tried to be completely different to everybody else if we can. The software itself is literally, it's just very unique. We haven't found anything else anywhere that does what we're doing. And it just gives you that edge over other people, because in fairness, how can you get someone to come and work with me? What gives you that edge? What makes you that bit different to everybody else? And that's the thing when you look at it. Us working as mortgage brokers, we're all got virtually the same products. So why would you choose one over the other to work with? And how is that? What's going to give you that kind of that want to move advisors, should we say, as an introducer? And the software is basically made that happen a lot for us.
Right, excellent. Is there sort of like any, from your own point of view, when you look at it, like the development side of things, I'm guessing there's no real limitations there in terms of what you're looking to do and how you're developing it?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, we're just doing it on a gradual basis, to be quite honest. It's developing as we've got a whole system where we can just put little tickets online. So when we're working on them, my guys will go, "Oh, this would be quite good to have." And we've got that platform where they can just put tickets on the system, and then they go into a development queue for us. And then we'll gradually kind of build and develop it out and kind of and try and get it working as best as we possibly can. But we're constantly after feedback. And if we can think of better ways that we can build a system or people a slightly different way, because we're not a massive entity yet, we literally can develop the software and really customize it for people as well, which is lovely.
Absolutely, that's a massive benefit.
Yeah, you can't do that in a big organization. But we're also kind of in talks with a few other people to try and bespoke it into their software as well. So, we're trying to chat to Open Work about potentially being on the front end of their new software. I'm in conversations with Mortgage Brain as well. But whether these come off or not, I have absolutely no idea. But they all love the idea and love what we're doing. But in fairness, literally, as I said, we haven't really tried to advertise it or do anything with it at all, really. So this is us, we're just starting that process now to go, how do we get out to the masses, really?
But that's the thing, like going to something like Mortgage Brain, like you said, and going to the networks and getting your way into there, then obviously then it can be, you've created the monster, Steve. This is the problem. So now you're going to be like, you'll find that once you get better traction, then everybody will know about it and everybody will want it. And your feedback tickets will be you'll have 5-year queues of feedback tickets of we'd like it to do this and like it to do that. But that's a good thing to have, though.
If I get queues like that, I'll be very happy, because it means it's done very well for itself.
Absolutely. Steve, I've taken up of your busy schedule. Is there anything else that we've missed and not talked about with Introvise? Anything you did I can't think of anything else that we said we were going to talk about that we missed off.
No, I think we've covered everything, to be quite honest. Yeah.
Fine. I think in terms of really, I will tag you into the podcast if anybody's got any questions and looking at organising demos and stuff like that. Obviously, I'll tag you in so then people can reach out to you on. I'm guessing LinkedIn is like the easiest way. Is that fine?
LinkedIn's absolutely fine. You know, we're on everything. There is a website for Introvise as well, so it's just introvise.co.uk.
And have you got videos on there to show how walkthroughs? I'm joking, Steve.
There's definitely screenshots on there, but I don't think you'll follow there yet. Maybe soon.
I'm joking about that. I'm looking forward to the videos of the walking through of like this is this bit and this is this bit. So save you so much time on you. Like you're on about saving brokers' time, estate agency time, saving you time, mate. Give me that time back. So then we'll just get that demo recorded and then put it out there, and then people will come to you.
We will start doing bits and pieces like that. So yes, it's coming.
Good,
definitely.
I'm looking forward to that. So definitely. Steve, thanks ever so much for your time. Thank you for your openness, honesty, and really thank you for sort of like creating what sounds like and is a great product from a tech point of view, from a mortgage broker point of view. And it is all about that trust. And I think the way that you do it, and it is on solid foundation, solid grounding, you do welcome feedback from the users as well. So it's not, you're not selling this black magic kind of thing going on. It's like quite clear which is what it's going to do and who it's aimed at and et cetera, et cetera. So brilliant. Thanks ever so much for your time.
No problem at all. Thank you very much.